Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I am your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, Senior Sales and Marketing Manager here with Grant Cardone. Now, what goes down on the Cardone Solutions Podcast? Well, bottom line, one of our core principles at Cardone Training Technologies is that 80, if not 85% of what we do here, 100% free. So I'm going to go out into cyberspace. I'm going to find stuff that Grant's putting out there. This could be a blog post. This could be an email that got sent recently. Could be a tweet. Could be something thrown up on the gram. Maybe even a TikTok every now and again. Anything. But I'm going to take some of this free content. I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to throw some action ideas on top of it and then give it back to you so that you can take it and then plug it into your sales and your business and your life. And then do what with it? Get a result. Now, last week, if you recall, we looked at the difference between average and successful. That was last Monday. Well, here we are again. We are going to raise the intensity with answering this question. Poser or player? Which one are you? We're going to ask what Grant likes to call hard questions today, and we're going to confront some serious shit. And before we get into the confrontation, allow me to take just a moment to do two things. If you're a first timer, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Please make sure to subscribe. And then secondly, for those of you that have been here for a minute, thank you. Appreciate you coming back every single time to dig in, dive in, and dissect and digest with me. You are much, much, much appreciated. If you are getting value from it, new and veterans, please make sure that you're sharing this out on the cyberspace so that everybody can benefit from it as well. And then let's also take a moment to talk about a word from our sponsor. The word from our sponsor is income, meaning today's episode is being brought to you by Grant Cardone's 10X Income System. This is where you get to learn from the best, Grant Cardone. Okay, you get access. You will get access to the most comprehensive business training available anywhere, guaranteed. This will increase your income. The only reason it won't, you know what it is? You don't use it. We're going to show you. Grant's going to show you how to grow your primary source of income. He's going to show you how to add additional flows to that income. He's going to show you how to grow your pipeline so that it is full, chock-a-block full of opportunity for you. He's going to show you how to create passive income and then how to grow wealth like the 1%. Okay, two ways to get involved. You can do this quarterly or you can do it annually. Okay, quarterly, it's $297 every 92 days, or you can do it one shot for 1 year, $997. Have you heard enough to make sense of the money? If you have, or if you haven't, head on over to cardonesolutions.com/10x your income for more information and to get started. That's cardonesolutions.com/10x your income. Here's what you're going to get. Access to Cardone University, over 800 plus business courses, private Cardone U Connect community, exclusive Cardone live streams, Q&A sessions with your Uncle G, access to never before seen content for reals, okay? And then we do live weekly training sessions with you. Plus you get special member pricing on products and events. So don't miss this opportunity. cardonesolutions.com/what is it? 10x your income. That's cardonesolutions.com/10x your income. Do it. Okay, so here we are. We're going to confront the serious shit. What is the difference between a poser and a player? So there's an infographic that I yanked off of the Twitter that I saw Grant posting the other day. I think it's on LinkedIn too, but this is for you to study. This is also for you to use, me too, as a checklist to figure out how and where we are spending the bulk of our time. Are you more on the poser side or are you more on the player side? And then hopefully once that gets dialed in, you start thinking about how to make sure that the bulk of your time is actually spent over on the player side, that more time is being invested in the player side, not so much the poser side. Because, well, like with last week, like with the difference between average and successful, poser and player is a state of mind first. Actions follow that, and then it's a lifestyle. So it's important to recognize where you're at, okay? We interrupt this broadcast to bring you some ancient wisdom. Quote, watch your thoughts. they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Lao Tzu. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Dude, what the hell is that? Where'd that come from? Wow. Okay. So, hey, listen, you know your opposer when. 4 things. You know your opposer when you follow the crowd. You know your opposer when you're going for short-term gratification. You know your opposer when you've bought into the latest trends. You know your opposer when you talk a big game. You know you're a player when the crowd follows you. You know you're a player when you're playing the long game. You know you're a player when you define your own style. You know you're a player when you play a big game. So, for those of you that have been listening for a while, as you know, I'm never just going to drop data on you and then leave. I'm going to give you some things to do with the data. So here is your action idea number 1. I would like you to identify where you're at on this particular scale right now. So here's some questions. If you've got a notepad, grab it. Start thinking with the following. Do you lead or follow? I mean, if everyone is going in one direction, do you assume right away that that must be the right direction to go in? Or do you pause for just a moment? Do you pause long enough to identify exactly what's going on and then decide on your course of action? Okay? Does that make sense? This is about you figuring out what's actually going on and then making a decision about your course of action, not just blindly following where everyone else is going. Okay? Next, would you rather feel good in the moment, or can you forsake comfort for true freedom? Now, this applies to your whole life. What does freedom mean versus comfort? Well, do you work out especially when you don't want to? When you don't feel like reading or studying your craft, right? Do you do it anyway? Is what you're doing right now, this is a great question to have on a notepad or a post-it note somewhere where you can see it all the time. Is what you're doing right now getting you closer to your goals? Or is what you're doing right now just a distraction from you confronting what it takes to be successful? You want me to do that again? I'll do it again. Is what you're doing right now getting you closer to your goals? Or is what you're doing right now just a distraction from you confronting what it actually takes to be successful? Hard question. Do your habits make you feel good about yourself? Or not so much? Let's define the word fad for a second. An intense and widely shared enthusiasm for something, especially one that is short-lived and without basis in an object's qualities, a craze. So, knowing that, are you using fads to expand in your market, or are you again following the crowd? Is your competitive nature positive or negative? Is it healthy or toxic? Is it helpful or hurtful? This is your competitive nature. What does that have to do with fads, Dave? That's for you to figure out. I just gave you the definition. And so this is a great time for you to examine if your competitive nature, because we all have one, right? Is it a positive one or is it a negative one? How do you feel about success? Is there enough for everyone? Or is it limited? So hopefully by now you're starting to get a sense of the traits of what a poser is, right? Or you may be starting to really understand, hey, what does it take to be a player? What are players up to? What are they doing? Okay. So have you noticed, though, how all of these traits, the four of them, that they're all connected and that they flow, like they literally flow together. One tends to lead to the next and so on and so forth, and it's fluent. And consequently, these traits can also be like a riptide that pulls you deeper in to that trait, to that side. So you want to be very, very careful, but you also want to be very, very aware. And so the advantage here then is that if you are aware, then you get to catch yourself when you're being a poser. And then you get to do what I call pull a fire drill technique. Okay. Remember when we were kids and they taught us what to do if we ever catch on fire, which on a side note, how terrifying is that for a little kid? Here's what to do if you ever catch on fire, little Johnny. Right? But what did you do? Do you remember what it was? You stop, you drop, and you roll, right? Remember that? Stop, drop, roll. Okay, so you've identified, you've caught yourself. You're like, hey, I'm being a poser right now. Stop being a poser right now. Drop the mindset that is allowing you to behave like a poser, and then what? Roll on over to the player side. That's simple. Okay, which leads me right over to action idea number 2, which is to identify 3 ways you've been a poser and apply stop, drop, and roll. So your second action idea number 2, is to confront it, right? Identify 3 ways you've been a poser and then apply the stop, drop, and roll. So see if you can find some times in your recent memory when you followed the crowd without questioning anything, just went that way, okay? Has there been a moment lately where you gave feeling a good priority over your goals, your morals, and your ethics? Does the media, this could be the news or social, provide you with information for you to make a decision, or are they deciding for you what you should believe? And then lastly, what does it mean to you to play a big game? Yeah, the big game. The big game, okay? Because you may be thinking about where you're at right now and wondering, like, well, how do I play a big game? Like Elon Musk, that dude is playing a big game. The Trumpster, love him or hate him, that dude is playing a big game. Okay? So if you're doing the first 3, you're leading from the front. You're choosing freedom over comfort with your attention on long-term targets. You're using fads and trends instead of getting used by them. You're unapologetically doing you. Getting criticized, perhaps. Picking up some haters, perhaps. When those are happening, then regardless of your existing condition or situation in life, that means you are playing the big game. If you're talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk, then you're in poser land. And what do you do when you are in poser land? That's right. You stop, you drop, and you roll. All right, so that's it. Don't be a poser, man. That's right. This has been another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I'm your host. My name is David Bradley. Again, if you're getting some value from it, please share it out. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, if you need help increasing your income, and who doesn't right now, head on over to cardonesolutions.com/10x your income to get some access to that program. And what am I going to leave you with? I'm going to leave you with the words of Grant Cardone. You know what they are. Be great, because nothing else pays. See you soon.